In the year 1177 BCE, something terrifying happened. Something the ancient world never recovered from. In the span of a single generation, nearly every major Bronze Age civilization collapsed. The Hittites vanished. The Mycenaeans fell. Trade networks that once connected continents simply stopped. And entire cities burned, abandoned, or were wiped from history without explanation. Ancient letters described kingdoms begging for help, warnings of enemies no one had ever seen before. Egypt barely survived, others didn't. So what happened? Was it a natural disaster? A chain reaction of famine and drought? Or the arrival of a mysterious force known only as the Sea Peoples? Tonight, we dive into one of the greatest unsolved mysteries in ancient history, the collapse of the Bronze Age world and the year humanity nearly fell. To collapse wasn't slow. It was sudden, violent. The Hittite Empire, once the dominant superpower, fell almost overnight. Their capital, Hattusa, was burned and abandoned. The Mycenaean palaces, the centers of Greek power, collapsed one by one. Even wealthy trade cities like Ugarit were destroyed so quickly that letters were left unfinished on scribes' tables. This wasn't just political chaos. This was a system-wide failure. Trade routes stretching from Egypt to Greece to Mesopotamia broke apart. Bronze production halted. Economies collapsed. Food shortages led to riots, and kingdoms that had ruled for centuries suddenly found themselves isolated, starving, and terrified. It was as if the ancient world was hit by a chain reaction they couldn't stop. One theory points to the Earth itself. Archaeologists discovered evidence of not just one, but multiple massive earthquakes across the Mediterranean around the same time. Walls cracked, buildings collapsed, entire cities were shaken to the ground. Some scholars call it an earthquake storm, a series of devastating quakes striking different regions over decades. Imagine trying to rebuild your city only to be hit again and again and again. With infrastructure destroyed and resources stretched thin, kingdoms were weakened beyond repair. A civilization might survive one disaster, but not a storm of them. And in that moment of weakness, new enemies appeared. The most dramatic explanation is the one carved into Egyptian temple walls, the arrival of a mysterious group known as the Sea Peoples. They came in ships unlike any the Egyptians had seen. Warriors in strange armor, families migrating with their entire lives packed onto boats. Were they invaders, refugees, survivors fleeing famine or disaster? We still don't know. What we do know is that coastal cities fell as they advanced. They destroyed kingdoms, burned palaces, and clashed with Egypt in the famous Battle of the Delta. Ramses III recorded the battle, boasting that he stopped them. But even Egypt, the greatest power of its age, barely survived the onslaught. When the chaos ended, the world was unrecognizable. Entire civilizations were gone. Cities lay in ruins. Trade networks had vanished. The Bronze Age died, and in its ashes, a new era slowly emerged, the Iron Age. The truth is, the collapse likely wasn't caused by one thing. It was the perfect storm: climate change, famine, migration, earthquakes, and warfare, all hitting at once. A global system stretched too far, finally snapping. And from that darkness, humanity was forced to rebuild. The world that came after was harsher, but stronger. A reminder that every civilization, no matter how powerful, can fall.